Just a minute. Mary Lynn?
Hello, Dad.
Mary Lynn, I'm very, very busy just now. If you've come here to talk, I'm afraid we're going to have to put it off until this evening.
You didn't have time to talk to me last night, so I guess we really don't have anything to discuss. The reason I'm here is to give you this and ask that you please print it in tomorrow's banner on the society page.
Thomas Dennison and Lee Halpern Sanders announced the engagement of their daughter, Mary Lynn Dennison, to...
Wade Norman Coleman.
I'm sorry, I can't print this.
Why not? Is your society page filled up with other announcements?
I can't print it because it's not true. You and Wade are not engaged.
Afternoon, Asa.
Oh, Vicky, I was just talking to Tina. She was asking for you.
Why, what happened?
Well, the woman that's got Milagro was definitely in Venice, and they had an address, and the Italian authorities got there. She moved.
Oh. Oh, that's a shame. Tina must be so upset.
Actually, Tina's brave, and as far as I'm concerned, this Lita Caballero is on another plane to another destination.
I know, but, I mean, they've got her on the, they've got her trail now. She can't elude everyone for long.
That's how I feel. Now, what are you doing here?
Me? I came here to check up on you, make sure you're resting the way you're supposed to.
Well, I'm being a good little boy. Meanwhile, you are being a lousy wife. I mean, I thought I convinced you to get back to Clint. What the hell are you doing in Landview?
Clint, are you here? No. Gabrielle, Oakie's gone. Who? Clint's favorite horse, Okie. No one rides him but Clint. This has to mean that it just means that our mystery isn't as big now. He probably took him out for a walk. Or a run. Or maybe even a race.
Plum local.
Here's what to do when you don't find the rainbows in this time.
Pardon me, old-timer.
Howdy, stranger.
Howdy, could you tell me just where I am? My horse quit me a few miles back, and I've been walking for quite a spell.
You look plumb wore out.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh, much obliged. Oh, that's better. So just where am I?
Buchanan City.
Yeah, but what is this place?
What do you mean? It's a town. What do you think it is?
Oh, there's no towns like this anymore.
Sun must have touched you in the head. Go get yourself a shot of whiskey. That saloon up yonder. That'll bring you back to your senses.
Races today, isn't it? Sarah.
Oh, just wait a minute now. I mean, we might be getting upset over nothing. Clint Buchanan doesn't lie. Now, he stood up to everyone, including Vicky, and said that he was going to enter that race. And he only decided not to do it when he realized that it was too much for Ace.
But he sent Asa home.
I know he did. I know. But I really think he realized that he was putting his own needs in front of how much his family needs him.
You're right. You're right. I don't think he snuck off and entered the race. He's just walking Okie, I'm sure. Steve, have you seen Clint?
No, I didn't, but I got another idea. Maybe Clint asked one of the other hands to drive him into town or something.
No, I mean, I have to point out again that I think that would be really unusual for him not to leave a note or tell someone.
I think we should check it out.
But there's another idea I think we should think of, too.
What's that?
It just occurred to me that possibly Clint has entered the 100-mile race. Okie and his saddle, they're not here either.
I don't believe this. I don't believe you.
And you? What about you? You're barely 20 years old. You're still at college. And you date a boy who manages to find trouble at least once a month. He has next to no income.
I love him, and there's nothing you could say that's going to change that.
This is the one thing I wanted to avoid. A confrontation with us where we end up screaming at each other.
Is that why you ignored me last night?
Yes, exactly, because I couldn't think of the magic words that would make you see the light without having a battle royal.
You see, Dad? I'm looking for the magic words, too. Words that'll convince you that Wade and I are perfect for each other, that we can thrive and be happy despite our age and our income.
Then why can't you just go on the way you are now?
Because we want to live together. We want to plan our future together.
Future. That's the operative word. Don't you understand? I am concerned about your future. Now, listen to me. What if you have to drop out of college and get a job to help pay the bills, huh? What if you became pregnant? Now, that would certainly take care of all of the future, wouldn't it? Except for motherhood, of course.
Would that be so terrible?
Come on, I don't think you're ready at this point in your life to settle down to that. Be at home as a mother.
You mean like my mother? Let's face it, Dad, most of our arguments don't really have anything to do with me and Wade. They have to do with you. And your problems, and your mistake, and Mom's confusion, and her pain, the way you messed up your marriage.
There is something to that, but not a lot.
Oh, no, there's a lot to it. Whether you want to admit it or not. And someday, hopefully, you will start separating your life from mine.
You won't listen to me, will you? You will not listen because you have decided that my reaction to this whole thing is based on my past, huh? Well, it isn't. It's based on your future, but you won't listen to logic, reason, or anything. I just can't get through to you, can I?
All I know is that you are making a federal case out of two young adults who wish to get married. As if it had never happened before. No two young adults with very little money ever lived happily ever after.
Oh, come on. Some do, yes, of course, some
Wade
do.
and I can't possibly fit into that category, right? We're condemned to failure and divorce. You know, Dad, I'm not really sure if that's what you're afraid of or if that's what you want.
Hold on a minute, Asa. Who do you think you're talking to here?
All right, I may not have chosen my words.
I don't care about your words. It's your tone of voice I object to. I am not a child.
I'm sorry, all right? I think this indicates how much I'm worrying about Clint.
Well, I will tell you that Clint and I had a very long conversation on the telephone last night, and he is just fine. He's fully aware of the folly of riding that race and of the worry that he put us through. He told me to take my time here in Landview, that there's absolutely no reason to rush back, but because of everything you said to me earlier yesterday, I asked him a lot of questions, and I listened very carefully to his tone. He's fine. He's himself.
Well, if you believe he's fine, you believe it. I am not convinced.
All right, Asa. You go to the phone and call him and talk to him yourself. I'm sure he would love to hear from you.
Yeah, so he can give us another snow job. He is saying, honey, what you want to hear.
Well, what on earth do you think he's going to do? Challenge a ranch hand to a duel? You're making all these dire predictions. They are vague and unsubstantiated.
Vicky, I don't know the details, but I do know my son. I saw him on the range, try to kill himself to prove he's a man in the old-fashioned sense of the word. Yes, my heart problem scared him. His brain started to work. He realized what a foolhardy thing it was. But he's still there to prove himself.
But, Asa, that need is always going to be in him. It doesn't mean he has to act on it, or that he's going to come up with something as irresponsible as that ride.
What if I'm right, honey, and you're wrong? You can't get on a plane to Arizona, and don't tell me Tina needs you. She's got Max, she's got Cord, she's got the American, and the Italian authorities to help her. Poor Clint's got nothing but Sarah, who is too young and naive to read him. Well, maybe it's something with you, with the marriage. Maybe you're trying to punish Clint for making you crazy over this race in the first place.
Now, wait a minute, Sarah. I mean, people do make foolish decisions at the spur of the moment, but Clint could be just out trotting Okie, or maybe he found a nice stream and fell asleep.
Yeah, or maybe Okie ran off into the desert and they're both lost.
Lost? A blind man on his horse lost? Oh, that is terrific. You know, Maybe I would just prefer to think that he is riding in that race. At least there'd be other people around. I don't know. On the other hand, Clint swears that Okie could find his way home from miles around here.
Yeah, so if they wandered too far away, then Okie will find the way back.
What is this? Pill?
Was this in the feed bucket?
Yeah.
Well, that's strange.
Was Okie sick? Not at all.
Yeah, but even if he was, you just wouldn't put the pill in the feed bucket and expect him to eat it. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's go in the house. Let's call the race committee and find out if Clint entered the race, and we can take it from there. Okay?
What can we do for you, stranger?
Well, I just came in off the desert. I need just a drink of water.
Sure thing. There you go.
Thank you.
So where you from?
Valhalla. It's not far from here.
Valhalla? Never heard of it.
What do you mean you never heard of it? It's, can't be 50 miles from here. Happy Horse Ranch?
Seeing as how I just opened these eyes about 30 minutes ago. I tell you, someday I'm going to learn not to stay up and carry on with my clientele.
Oh, Blaze, you only stay up for one customer.
Well, that's true. That's true. Never quite sleepy when Buck's around, isn't that right? Well, howdy. My name's Blaze, and this here's my saloon. And you are?
Clint. Nice to meet you.
And you too. Gee, you look kind of all spiffed up, even though you're a little dirty, but my guess is Eastern. New York, maybe?
All right, I give up. I won't even try to guess. Just, what is this place?
Well, honey, it's my bar, my saloon. I own it.
I know that. I know that. I mean, what is this town? An amusement park with a Wild West theme, or
amusement park?
Yeah.
Well, you don't see any of us now looking too amused, do you, Campbell?
Sure. Movie set. It's a movie set.
Carson, how many rounds have you served this hombre?
Ma'am, I've been drinking straight water. And unless I miss my guess, all these bottles are just filled with colored water, too.
Oh, excuse me, boys. Could I still be dreaming? And this guy's part of my dream, huh?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. He said he was in the desert. Maybe his brain turned to cactus juice.
I'm kind of losing my sense of humor here. Just tell me where the phone is. Telephone?
We ain't got telephones in these parts, mister. We got a telegraph office now down the street.
You don't have telephone? Well, if you don't have telephones... No, I can't mean that.
You know, mister, maybe you ought to just explain what the problem is.
Well, the problem is, well, there isn't any problem. There's just a little bit of a misunderstanding here. So just answer me one question, straight from the shoulder.
Sure.
What's the date?
Well, it's February something. Carson, Carson, what's the exact day?
Not the day. The date. What year is it?
You've been having a hangover since New Year's Eve, cowboy. It's 1888.
1888?
1888. Mr. Clint, I believe you said it was? Honey, you're either drunk, loco, or very badly ailing. Now, why don't you just catch Doc Carey, who's just around the corner?
Where's the telegraph office?
In the general store. Will Simmons runs both.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Sure thing, cowboy. Take care now.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
Pardon me, ma'am. I'm trying to find a phone, a telephone.
Well, we read they have that sort of thing back east, but not in Buchanan City.
Well, that's what they told me inside, but, well, how about a car rental agency, a bus depot?
A what?
You know, I'm trying to hang on to my sense of humor here, but someone's got to own up to this being a movie set or a theme park or something.
A movie set? Excuse me, mister. I have to be going.
I cannot believe you'd say that. The last thing in the world I want is for you and Wade to have any kind of trouble at all.
Are you sure? You're so positive you're right. Maybe you need us to prove your point.
Now, just a minute, young lady. I'm still your father, and I will not have you talk to me like that.
I'm going to stand up for myself and for the man I love.
See, the same way you stood up for Rick, doesn't this seem similar to
Rick
you?
was another lifetime.
Come on, it was not that long ago.
But it was before I had to take a crash course in growing up. Dad, look at me. I'm not the same person. I've changed. I learned that you lied to me. And that my mother was living in Landview and was my best friend, Lee Halpern. I also learned that Rick had the loyalty of a mosquito, and I came very close to taking my own life. And through all of that, Dad, the only person I could count on was Wade Coleman. I love him more than you, more than Mom, more than anything. And he has earned that love, and he has earned that trust.
Mary Lynn.
No, I don't want to hear it.
Listen to me! Supposing a fella came along that was better for you than Wade. The same way that Wade came along and was a better choice than Rick, huh? Think about that, please. Honey, the reason I mention that is when you're young, get all caught up in today. When as time goes on, you're gonna learn that tomorrow's contribute towards changing our minds about all sorts of things. I just don't want you to rush into anything. That's all. I'd like for you to give those tomorrows a better chance. Huh?
There's no date set on the announcement for a wedding. It's because Wade and I have decided to wait a while. And I hope it gives you enough time to realize the fact that we are getting married. And that you start to be happy for us. And if that doesn't happen, Dad, Wade and I are getting married anyway. There's no question. The only question is whether or not you'll be a part of my life after that. and that hurts me to say. But if you force me to choose...
Oh, baby, please don't say that, all right? Don't say it. I'll be a part of your life. Always. You'll be a part of mine. Please, we'll get through this. We will.
Give us your blessing. Give us your support.
Okay. Sweetheart, look, we'll talk about this tonight, all right? When I get home, we'll talk about it. Excuse me. Hang on just a second. Hello. Yes. Yes, Briggs. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'll be down there in about 5 minutes, Briggs. Now, sweetheart, I'm sorry, but...
Yes, I'll wait. It's the chairman of the race committee. He's checking his roster, but he doesn't think so.
Oh, I wish I knew whether that was good or bad.
Howdy, Sarah. Mr. and Mrs. Holden. Just checking to see if Clint turned up yet.
No, he hasn't, George. Listen, I want you to talk to all the other hands. Make sure that Clint didn't ask any of them to run him into town or somewhere else.
Already sure about that, Mr. Holden. All the hands are here. All been out looking around for the boss.
Yes, I'm still here. You're sure about that? Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Bye-bye. What? Clint didn't ride in the race. Everyone has to sign in, and plus everybody knows Clint. No one saw him at the starting line this morning.
Mind if I ask why you're getting so worked up over Clint being gone a few hours?
It has been more than a few hours at this point. It's been most of the day.
So he went out riding. Then he tied up Okie, and he's having a nap under a shady tree. You know, I've heard him complaining about how overprotective everybody is with him. No wonder the man rides off and don't tell nobody.
Well, wait a minute, George. How do you know he rode off?
Well, sir, if he'd just gone for a walk, we'd have found him. But anyways, I still don't see no reason for pushing the panic button.
He is blind. You know that.
That don't stop him from doing most anything.
George, do you happen to know if Okie was under medication?
No reason to be. That horse is fine and healthy as they come.
Well, we found this in the feed bucket.
What the hell's that?
We don't know.
Is Clint taking pills? Maybe he was taking one and dropped it in the bucket accidentally.
It's possible, I suppose. He does get mild headaches sometimes.
I still don't see why you folks are so determined that something's wrong. He might be a blind man, but he's a grown man and with a lot of smarts.
That's right. You know, maybe we're all overreacting for no reason. You know, Clint's gonna walk through the door in 5 minutes, and if he sees how upset we've been, he's gonna have our heads.
Sure he will. Wait till nightfall, then get worried. Not before.
Oh, pardon me?
That's Clint's cane.
Yes, ma'am. I found it outside the front gate.
The name's Sun.
Jethro, there was no sign of Clint?
Nope.
Well, he wouldn't go off without his cane.
Well, maybe he just forgot it.
George, he wouldn't forget. A blind man does not just leave his cane.
Sarah, I'm going to go into town and talk to the sheriff. George, I want you and Jethro to organize a real search, not just a casual look-see.
Waste of time. Clint will be mad.
Would you please just do it? You can tell us that you were right later.
Yes, ma'am. Let's go, Jethro.
All right.
You know, that guy is starting to get on my nerves. There's something about him I don't trust.
What?
Well, he's pushing us too hard not to do a damn thing. Maybe it's just me getting paranoid. Okay, look, I'm going to go down and I'm going to talk to the sheriff and tell him that we're all a little concerned and maybe he'll help us with a search. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Of course we fought, Asa. You know that perfectly well, but I did not leave the ranch to get back at Clint. You know, your heart may be fine, but I think your brain was affected. You're saying an awful lot of things that make no sense, and they're offensive.
I figured if I dig hard enough, I'll find the reason you're not with Clint.
I have told you.
I know you've told me. Tina's all right. Clint is not.
Clint is okay. In fact, he's probably very happy that I am not at the ranch right now hovering over him and being overprotective. I have to tell you, I restrained myself a lot of times this trip from calling him every hour in the hour just to make sure he's all right. I'm trying to act as if he's normal because that's what he wants.
This isn't the time for that. Vicky, have I ever asked very much of you? Any favors in the past at all?
Well, very few favors, actually.
Would you grant me one? Would you hop in my jet and go back to Clint today.
Oh, all right, I give in.
Hallelujah, como tal.
Well, I am not going anywhere today. I have things to do. I will go tomorrow morning. I will call them, tell them I'm coming home. They can get the welcome wagon ready.
All right, all right. Considering the time it is, if he's going to do anything foolish, he's probably already done it.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Give me a hug.
Here we are, Mrs. Taylor. Here you go.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons.
Howdy.
Howdy. I'd like to sell, You will, Simmons?
Sure, yes. What can I do for you?
I'd like to send a telegram.
Sure, what town?
Valhalla. Valhalla, Arizona?
Valhalla.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, that's not listed as a receiving station.
Oh, no, wait a minute. It has to be listed. It's not just some cow camp, you know. It's a town. It's a real town. It can't be 50 miles from here.
Now, look, stranger, you got some kind of temper on you. I don't think I want to do business with you.
Well, now, look, I'm just trying to send a telegraph to my family. A horse quit me out in the desert, and I don't know where the hell I am.
It doesn't mean you should be abusive to me now, does it?
I apologize. I'm a little confused and frustrated at this point.
Well, you can look at the page if you want. It lists all the towns in Arizona that have telegraph offices.
The 3/4 of the cities and towns in Arizona aren't even on it.
It came at the first of the year. I got this from the telegraph company.
All right, I've got relatives in Pennsylvania. Let me send a telegraph to Landview. It's just outside of Philadelphia. I know that place is big enough to help me. Telegraph office.
Landview, Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, you're wrong again. There's no Landview in Pennsylvania.
You got a map?
It's right on the wall over there.
I'll point it out to you.
And I assure you, you will not find Valhalla or Landview on it.
Mr. Simmons? You ever heard of airplanes?
Huh?
Second World War. President Reagan? Harry Truman. Now look, there are 50 states in this country, and they are all linked together by telephones, telegraph lines, and railroads. What year is this?
It's 1888, hombre. Have you been out in the hills a while prospecting for gold?
Yeah. Something like that.
You must go up with you boys.
What am I going to tell Kevin and Joey?
Not the truth, that's for certain, even if we did know what it was.
Just that Clint is with Okie. They should accept that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Dad? Hi, Gabrielle.
Hi, boys. How are you two doing?
We're super.
Oh, and how was school today?
The kids' fathers are entering in the race. Dad didn't change his mind and go, did he?
He did not. Because it wouldn't be safe for him. I thought I explained that to you guys, huh?
I'm just wondering. Where is Dad? We got a secret to tell him.
I'm not sure. I think he's out with Okie.
And when he gets back, he'll want dinner on the table. Now, are you two going to help me prepare dinner tonight?
Yeah, you ought to see these two in the kitchen, Gabrielle. I'm telling you, Vicky's raising a couple kids that if they're left on their own, they're going to have no problem.
We'll help. But when he gets in, send him in the kitchen, okay?
You will.
Got it.
You haven't been back yet?
No, still no sign of him. And Okie's gone, too, now.
Oh, dear. Well, I'll go and keep them occupied. Don't worry. I'm sure Mr. Buchanan's okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he's fine. It's just strange.
I can help you with, stranger?
Oh, I sure hope so. I'll tell you what, I need a horse. I was wondering if you could tell me where I could buy one.
How'd you get here?
Well, I had to walk. My horse quit me a few miles outside of town.
Well, Buck's usually got some horse flesh for sale, but it ain't cheap. $20.
$20? Well, I ought to have that. Looks like close to 200.
What in tarnation is this? Don't try to tell me they use this out east either, because I know better. This is counterfeit. This is funny money. You better start talking, hombre. Now, where'd you get that, and where do you come from?
Sheriff, I'll tell you, I got this at a carnival in Dodge City. I got the gold pieces for it.
You buy that horse, and you vamoose. I can spot trouble at...
Man says you're in the way.
Well, I got some work to do in the office.
Wait a minute, aren't you going to start the fight?
You keep out of it. That's Buck's business.
Get up, farmer. I ain't finished with you yet. Get up. Make sure you learn your lesson. Now get up, farmer. Get off that ground so I can finish you off.
How is Mary Lynn? I haven't had a chance to see her this trip.
Very busy being in love and very busy preparing to get married.
Get married?
That's right.
Oh, Tom, that's wonderful. Wade Coleman is a delightful young man. I'm sure you must be very proud that he's going to be your son-in-law. Oh, sorry. Maybe you feel they're rushing the event.
You're damn right they're rushing this thing. I'm sorry, Vicky. Marilyn and I had our worst fight ever about an hour ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She came marching in here with a typed-up engagement announcement. Wanted me to publish it.
And like your twin brother, I expect there's a hole in the ceiling right now, huh?
I just can't seem to cut through the immaturity. You know, she tells me that my reaction to all this is all wrapped up in my past. She says I'm too harsh about the whole thing, and I just can't. It's like talking to a tree.
No, that happens with love, especially young love.
Yeah, well, how do I stop her, huh?
Well, you probably can't. Maybe you shouldn't even try.
Won't try?
No.
I see. That's exactly what Lee says.
Tom, Wade Coleman has changed a great deal since he met your daughter. I think all he really needed was a chance to prove himself. I predict very great things for that boy's future.
But not immediate future. Vicky, they're going to be living on 5 cents. She's still at college. I'm afraid she's going to drop out and get a job.
Well, I'm sure you have a lot of fears, and some of them may even come true. On the other hand, Wade and Mary Lynn may very well remain committed to each other through all these problems and stay happily married for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware of that. I'm also aware of the fact that, as Mary Lynn's father, I probably never really agree to any fella that she wants to get married to, right? But I just don't see any reason for them to rush it, so...
I can think of one reason.
Huh?
Passion. I get the impression that Mary Lynn is saving herself and has been saving herself for her husband, right?
What are you suggesting? That I go all this time thinking one way, and then all of a sudden I do a 180-degree turn and say, come on, go to bed with Wade. As long as you don't marry him, it's all right.
Come on, I don't have all the answers. I'm just suggesting that may very well be a reason that she wants to get married now.
Becky, what would you do if you're in my position?
Print the announcement and stand by your daughter no matter what.
I'll stand by. I always have and I always will, if that's it. It sounds easy when you say it, but I get the feeling I'm going to be standing there watching her walk in front of a diesel truck.
Oh, no, Tom, that's never going to happen. Wade Coleman is a very nice young man. He might not be everything you want for her right now, but there's certainly enough there for Mary Lynn to love.
I see. So, in other words, the bottom line is I can't win. So, if I don't play it smart, I might lose her for good.
Exactly.
I see. All right, I'll print the announcement and try to stay as neutral as possible. Oh, did you say you were leaving tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow.
Well, I know how much you miss the children.
Yes, I do miss the children. But actually, I'm going because of Asa. Asa has this feeling that Clint really needs me now, more than he ever has before.
Oh,
I'm back. What's going on?
sweetheart, who's still waiting around? Kim brought the boys home from school and they want to see their dad, so we told them that he's out riding. But what about the sheriff?
Well, he's very cooperative. Plus, he knows Clint, so there's a personal concern. He also said that we weren't necessarily jumping the gun, given that Clint can't see where he's going. So he ordered a helicopter, and it should be searching the area. We should hear it real soon.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Now, the only question is, do we call Vicky and tell her, or do we wait till the sheriff finds Clint first?
Get up, Farmer. I'm gonna teach you a lesson. Nobody hits my friend. Oh.
The man's alone and he's unarmed. Doesn't seem quite fair.
Fair? Fair. Or you mean like fair fight like? Easy. You ain't seen the last of us, mister. No, Buck. He ain't gonna take kindly to your interfering.
I don't know who you are, mister, but I'm in your eternal debt. My name's Slim.
Slim, what's going on around here?
Hank and Laredo are working for Buck Buchanan.
Buchanan?
Yeah.
I hope it's not the Buchanans I think it is.
You can find out for yourself. That's Buck Buchanan right now. I'm getting home myself.
Oh. Drop this off with the sheriff. And the other one with it.
I'm in the library.
Honey, how are you? Asa told me about Lita.
Yeah, I guess she figured we were on her trail, so she ran out of the boarding house and probably ran right out of Venice, too.
Well, you're taking this rather well.
Well, I think now is the time for strength and optimism. And I'm not just using those as words. That's how I really feel. Vicki, he's my baby, and I know I'm going to hold him in my arms soon, and that's just all there is to it.
That's wonderful. Makes my decision a bit easier, too.
What's that?
Asa is insisting I go back to the ranch. He's very worried about Clint. He thinks that Clint needs me right now. He thinks that even though he canceled the race, he's still going to go ahead and do something foolish.
Well, I don't understand.
Neither do I entirely. He just feels that Clint's need to prove himself as a man is going to manifest itself one way or another. Anyway, he put it on the level of a favor. He was practically begging me to go back, so...
So you're going back?
Tomorrow morning. But, honey, you're going to be just fine without me.
Yeah, huh? Well, what about the foothills? Okay, all right, I understand. Look, keep it up, Sheriff. We appreciate it, okay? Yeah, right, bye.
Obviously, the police haven't seen Clint either.
That helicopter we hear has searched every inch of this ranch within 10 miles and hasn't seen a thing of Clint or Okie.
So now what?
Well, the sheriff says that the pilot's going to start looking further out.
Well, that means the desert. My stomach just hit my shoes.
Well, we also have to consider the question of Vicky. I think we have to tell her.
So do I. I mean, it's better to do too much than too little. She is going to be very upset. Not to mention Asa and his heart condition. And not to mention Cord, as if he doesn't have enough on his mind with the baby.
Look, that's just the way it is. We have to call Vicky and tell her that her husband is missing.
Pa? Cord. I can see. And now finding the two of you here is just like one miracle on top of another.
What'd you call me, stranger? Sound like Pa.
Hey, it's Cody, it ain't Cord. Sounds like you've been drinking too much over at Blaze's Saloon.
Or just born stupid.
To stack up the Totals vitamin nutrition, it...
John!
Very good. You win first prize.
No, I'm just surprised to see you, that's all. I thought you had appointments all afternoon.
Yeah, well, I did. They're over and done with. Unfortunately, neither one panned out into a client.
Oh, so business is bad. So I guess that means this is not a good day to ask for a raise, huh?
Well, why don't we say we talk about it later? Right now, you've got a couple of phone messages. I wrote them down off the answering machine verbatim.
John, these messages are from patients at the Mountain View Sanitarium. Okay, so I asked around there. I wanted to know if anyone had any information on Alex Crown.
Why would you do that?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? I'm helping Rob. Well, John, I'm not just helping him. Actually, he hired me. Although I don't really think I could charge him for this.
Donald Lamar and the police are already investigating any possible mob connection with Dr. Kellogg. Now, what can you do that they can't?
Rob is not very sure of them, and we all know how easy it is for the mob to infiltrate the police department and corrupt the officials.
You know, I can't believe this. Nor can I believe that you didn't discuss this with me.
Because I knew you would react this way. So what is there to discuss?
No, you didn't discuss it because you knew it was stupid and futile.
Why futile?
Because if you go following leads from mental patients, you might end up in the USSR or South America. But you're not going to find your accomplice.
This was just one little part of my plan, one little teeny part of my whole investigation.
Yeah, and the end of your investigation. As long as I'm the boss of this lavish organization, we're not taking this case.
Honey, you're not really feeling stronger at all, are you? You were just pretending.
No. No, it was just a shock to hear you say you were leaving.
I'm still only a plane ride away, just as I was before.
Oh, I know it. Vicky, I don't know. I guess it's easier for me to be strong when you're here. I mean, you're my role model. You know that. I don't know. I guess I can be strong without you, though. I mean, I'm learning it. At least I'm learning how.
Of course you are. And the main trick to not falling apart, Tina, is in believing that you can alter the circumstances, in feeling you can exert some control. Now listen, Cord and Max would never have gone to Argentina if it hadn't been for your urging, and you would never have held your baby if it hadn't been for that. Remember that, okay? You can always call me whenever you want to talk, whatever mood you're in, and if you really, really need me, I'll come back.
I know that. And it does help. Besides, I guess it really is time for you to go back there, huh?
Yeah, I miss my babies. I miss my Jessica, my little boys, and my big boy, who still wants to grow up to be the fastest gun in the West.
Hello? Oh. Hi, Sarah. Yeah. Vicky's right here.
Sarah? Well, she's probably calling for Clint. I can tell them I'm practically airborne. Hi, Sarah.
Well, what you staring at? Hold on. You're not still thinking I'm your pa.
No, actually, I was beginning to think that you're my great-granddaddy.
I ain't got any damn son. Least of all, no great-grandson.
Seems to me the man's just plain loco, Buck. No question about it.
Cody, I'd like to see the stranger dance.
Hi, Vicky. How are you?
Fine. The boys home from school?
Yeah, about half an hour ago. They're in the kitchen helping Kim get ready. They have some secret that they won't relay, but they sure are smiling about it.
Well, I expect that Kevin probably has a lizard in his pocket or something. Are you calling for Clint? Is that why you called?
No.
Is something wrong?
Maybe. Vicky, this morning, Clint went down to the Corral to take Okie out for a ride. He isn't home yet. Now, the thing is, I think he's alone, and no one's been able to find him. Even the helicopter pilot isn't able to locate him.
What helicopter pilot? You have people out looking for him?
Well, yes. Steve Steve and Gabrielle Holden are here also, and we just thought it was unusual that he didn't leave a note or tell someone where he was going. And yesterday, I found Clint down at the stable getting ready to go for a ride alone. Now, I thought that I had convinced him that it wasn't a good idea to go alone.
It's all right, Sarah. I know where he is. Today's the day of the 100-mile ride. He's gone and entered that competition after all.
No, Vicki, I'm afraid he hasn't. I called the chairman of the race committee this morning. He knows Clint personally. He hasn't seen him all morning. Vicki.
Yes. So what you're telling me is that a blind man on a horse has disappeared.
I'm afraid so. I don't know. Maybe he has dismounted and he's taking a nap underneath a shade tree and just isn't visible to the pilot and the people that are searching for him.
Yeah, but he would hear them, wouldn't he?
Well, maybe he doesn't want to be found, Vicki. You know that stubborn streak of his. Maybe he just has some personal goal that he's not telling us about, and he's not going to come home until he achieves it.
Oh, God, Asa, what a time to become a prophet.
I beg your pardon?
Nothing. Nothing, Sarah. I'll be there as soon as I can, as soon as Asa's plane can get cleared to take off.
Fine. Vicki, I hope we haven't worried you for nothing.
So do I. But I'm very glad you called. I'll see you in a couple hours. Bye.
I heard enough to know that what Clint and his horse are missing?
Yeah. He went out this morning, alone. And he didn't tell anybody. And he didn't enter the ride. So God, what?
Vicki, I'm sure he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, okay. I have to go there and have...
Well, what can I do?
Call Asa, please, and ask him to get the plane ready to take off right away. I'm gonna pack.
Well, Vicki didn't get really upset until I'd mentioned we'd already checked the race and Clint's not in it.
So now she's on her way back in Ace's jet.
Let's just all hope that Clint is found and sitting here by the time she gets here.
I am just really having an attack of guilt here. I mean, I really thought that I had convinced Clint that riding alone was not a good idea.
Wait a minute, Sarah. I mean, you can't take responsibility for this. Clint is not a child. And at least a part of him knew that it wasn't sensible or he wouldn't have sneaked out.
I know that. It's... I don't know. Maybe it would have been better if he would have ridden in this stupid race.
Howdy. We saw the helicopter. The pilot find Clint?
No, not in the first 10 miles.
Damn it.
So they're stretching out another 20 miles.
Well, what do you think, George? You think he's still okay? That he's still taking a nap somewhere?
Well, maybe, but I guess too much time might have passed.
Well, at least at this point, I'm not worried that he's been thrown and is lying hurt somewhere. I mean, if the Okie were roaming free or even heading back to the ranch, someone would have seen him, right?
Wait a minute. I forgot all about this pill. Damn it, why didn't I give it to the sheriff so he could take it over to the lab and analyze it?
Why?
Well, honey, there's something we're not considering. Something we may not even want to.
You think
Foul play.
You think the horse might have been drugged?
Oh, who? Why?
Maybe it isn't foul play. Maybe it's just some sort of freaky accident. But what I'm trying to get at is that Clint may not have been able to control his horse. Okie may have bolted away and run off somewhere. Who knows? I just think that it's important that we find out what was in this pill in case there were more of them and Okie ate them.
No offense, Mr. Holden, but you thinking about foul play is downright loco. Nobody on this spread would want to harm the boss.
Well, let's hope not, George, but I'm going to run it down to the sheriff anyway. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Well, here, let me do that for you.
I don't think so. I think you know your way around here better than I do, and I think you'd be better off in a car or a Jeep searching.
Okay. I'll get back to it.
You know, I got a bad gut feeling about that guy.
Well, Cody, at least the stranger don't have a stripe up his back. I'm thirsty.
You better mount up and get out of town. Next time ain't gonna miss. Come on.
Did you see how that stranger just slid up to Cody? Didn't even flinch.
So you're at it again, eh, Cody? Doing Buck's bidding, being his hired gun, shooting after some stranger for no reason.
We got plenty of reason.
You told me that you were gonna think about quitting, Cody. But you ain't never gonna quit. I can't. You and me, we're over, Cody.
Now just wait a minute here.
I have waited so long. You're never gonna be nothing but a no-good gunslinger running after decent, God-fearing people, and I don't understand it. Is it because you like the excitement of it, or is it the money? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's fine. You just go on and marry that life, Cody, because you're never gonna marry me. Now you get on out of here.
Sure sent him packing.
All right. Why don't you just admit it? You don't want me to take this job because you're jealous.
All right, maybe 1/3 of me is jealous, but 2/3 of me has damn good reason for it.
Such as?
Such as, if the mob really is connected in Alex Crown's murder, then a second-rate, inexperienced private detective would not be able to find the links.
Wait a minute. I don't think I quite heard you right.
Plus the fact that you'll probably just get your arrogant butt in some kind of predicament, and I'll have to risk my butt to get you out of it.
You call me arrogant after you just delivered a speech like that?
Think about the cases we worked on together. How many times have I had to rescue you?
Oh, that is it. That's it. I quit. I'm going to open my own agency. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Not only that, I'm going to sue you for slander, for breach of faith, defamation of character. That's it,
You know, you're the reason that this agency isn't profitable anyway. So go ahead. Sue me.
Don't start, Wanda, or we'll ask you to leave.
The doctor said you're going to be okay, but he emphasized rest. It is not going to be any fun to interrupt that search party for your funeral.
Tough. You got that, Wanda? Tough.
Sir?
This woman is going to drive me to a coronary in the name of my health.
He insists on going with you. He is hell-bent on being part of the search for Clint.
Oh, God, Asa.
That's right. It's my plane. You think you can go without me? Think again.
Fine. Then they can just put you back on it in a pine box.
Oh, now, come on now. Asa, Wanda, now you two stop this.
I'm sorry. I came here because I heard about Clint. I'm worried about him. I did not know I was also going to have to be worried about Asa.
What time did the pilot say he would be ready to take off, Asa?
6:30. It gives us 2 hours to twiddle our thumbs and maybe relax Wanda here.
Well, it's not just Wanda. I'm not too delighted about you traveling out there with your condition.
Well, that's right. I mean, not only are we going to have to worry about Clint, everybody's going to have to worry about you now, too.
Where's Cord?
We don't know. He and Max went to talk to the government officials.
He doesn't know about Clint yet? Well, he'll probably want to go, too.
No! Whatever he wants.
I'm just praying we get a phone call before we leave. Yeah. Maybe Clint and Oki have come home.
Hey, everybody, listen up. I got some great news.
Well, what is it?
You know that private investigator we hired in Venice? Well, he was walking over in San Marco Square, and he saw Lita and the baby. Now, he didn't follow her or anything, but they're still in Venice today, and he turned the whole thing over to the police.
Well, that's great. I mean, that means they're bound to catch them, right?
I guess so.
Sure they will, Tina. I mean, that's good. And, like, maybe we got one problem kind of out of the way, and we can concentrate on finding Clint.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
Cordero Sarah called a little while ago. Apparently Clint took Oki out for a ride this morning. He has not come back. No one has seen him.
You mean he tried to ride that ride alone, but...
No, he didn't. That was my first thought, but they checked. He didn't. They're afraid he's lost. Oh, God, Asa. I hate to say it, but I'm afraid you were right.
No, Vicky. Don't you feel guilty? The man simply did what he had to do.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, sir?
Hey, mister. You sure was something out there. I mean, you just stood up to Cody. And he was firing bullets at your feet.
Hush.
My name's Clint. And I'm new to these parts.
Well, I hope you're not a farmer coming out here to work the territory, because it'll be about the worst decision that you have ever made.
Well, just what is going on around here?
Buck Buchanan's trying to run us all out of Buchanan City.
Who's us all?
Well, the farmers and the homesteaders and the sodbusters, you know, anybody who feel like they ought to work the land.
Well, that sounds like a range war.
Well, it's going on all over the West, but you know about that.
Of course I do. Yeah.
Well, our father is the leader of the homesteaders. He won't sell out or let Buck run him out. He's as brave as you are, mister.
Yeah, he's a little bit too brave for me. I tell you, I've about had enough of this thing. I don't think that dirt out there is worth dying for one bit.
Well, are you a farmer?
No, I have a small horse ranch just outside of Valhalla, but,
Where's Valhalla?
but somewhere out there. I'm lost.
Oh.
See, my horse took off on me, and I just kind of stumbled into this town.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's too bad. I mean, this place isn't exactly very hospitable right now, but I imagine that Cody and Buck showed you a little bit about that, didn't they?
Yeah. Did Cody give you, some trouble when he came in here?
Nope. May gave him a ring back. They were engaged.
Yeah, that's the worst mistake that I ever made.
Oh, come on, May. You're still sweet on
Buddy,
him.
would you please not bring my personal private affairs out in the open in front of the stranger? Thank you very much.
Sorry, May. Oh, it's you again.
Mr. Simmons, I'm fine now. I've got my bearings back, and...
Well,
Glad to hear it.
I need 20 pounds of potatoes, and I need 10 pounds of sugar.
May, haven't you heard? I'm plumb out of those goods.
Well, I'm looking at them in that sack right now.
I'm sorry, I'm out of them to homesteaders.
So, Buck Buchanan paid you off too, did he?
Nope. But Deal Foster came around, telling me that if my store got on fire, it'd be the biggest fire Buchanan City's ever seen. And he got his point across. If I continue to sell to you folks, Buchanan City's gonna see that fire.
So you're just gonna cave in?
Look, mister, you don't know how things work around here.
I know a coward when I see one.
Yes, sir, you do.
Well, I guess that's about it, buddy. Papa's gonna have to move now.
No, he won't. You know, Pop. He'll starve first.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
What about the authorities?
Well, Buck Buchanan and the sheriff, I would say, are just pretty near best friends.
Well, the state government. Federal government, they could send troops in.
Well, that might happen someday, but Buck will have his way first. I've known him for years, and Buck always gets his way.
Well, okay, let's go home. Will, I need you to sell me some things, please. One more time.
Well, wait a minute. I'm not a sodbuster, and I'm not a homesteader. But you know what? It just so happens that I need 20 pounds of spuds, 10 pounds of sugar. What else did I say I was out of?
A pound of lard, and you said that you needed 5 yards of that pretty cloth right there.
And a bottle of sarsaparilla. Remember you said that?
That's my order, Mr. Simmons.
Coming right up, mister.